All right, let's get right into it. The news has just dropped, and it is a massive one, shaking the entire football world. We're talking about a leadership crisis at Manchester United that has just hit a serious boiling point. The apple has fallen. That's it. Just 3 words. That is the pretty dramatic phrase that was used to break the news that Ruben Amorim is out at Manchester United. And yeah, it sent shockwaves through the entire sport. So, there you have it. It is official. In a move that has absolutely stunned the fan base, head coach Ruben Amorim has been sacked. Look, this isn't just another manager change. This feels like the latest, and maybe most dramatic, chapter in a very long saga at Old Trafford. And while the final decision felt really sudden, the truth is the warning signs were there. One source described the last few weeks perfectly, calling it a crack in the deck. This period of turmoil and pressure that everyone could see, but maybe nobody expected it to shatter quite this dramatically or this fast. So that brings us to the real mystery here. Why him and why now? The whole narrative is kind of split, and there are basically 2 competing theories floating around for why Ruben Amorim was ultimately shown the door. On one side, you've got the official story. A bad run of results. It's clean, it's simple, it's all about the data. But then, on the other side, there's this, much juicier theory being whispered around, that his controversial comments in a press conference where he seemed to criticize the board's ambition was the real final nail in the coffin. So, was this about points on the board, or was it about politics in the boardroom? Okay, so first, let's take a look at the performance argument. The results on the pitch just haven't been good enough. The team has been stuck in this rut with more draws and losses than actual wins. And that's really the frustrating part, right? When you've got a squad that's packed with stars like Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo, Cunha, and De Ligt, you expect a performance to match the talent. And it just hasn't. And here's what makes it even more maddening for the fans. That all-important Champions League spot, it is so close. The team is just 3 points off 4th place. That's a gap that should feel totally manageable, but the team's trajectory just felt like it was going the wrong way, making that tiny gap feel like a giant canyon and just cranking up the pressure. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, the league table, the stats, none of it really matters anymore. The decision has been made, and the very fact that the club acted so decisively, even with a top 4 spot technically within reach, that suggests this was about way more than just a few bad games. It really points to a much deeper, more systemic problem at the club. And this is where the story just gets so much bigger. Was the problem really the manager, or is Ruben Amorim just the latest symptom of a much deeper crisis brewing within the club's leadership? And believe me, the fingers are being pointed in a lot of different directions, not just at the manager's now empty seat, but upwards, at the board, at the scouting team, and at what many see as a serious lack of resources and support coming from the very top. And this really gets to the heart of the conflict. Sources are putting it very plainly. Amorim had a vision. He knew what he needed to strengthen the squad, especially during the January transfer window, and the leadership just said no. He was basically denied the tools he felt he needed to do the job right. Which leads to this really kind of sad thought, doesn't it? Was this a project that was just cut short? A vision that actually could have worked if it had been given the right backing, both in terms of time and, resources? It's just a massive what if that's now hanging over the whole club. So, with Amorim gone and the blame game going strong, the club is staring down a very, very uncertain road. What on earth happens next? Where do they even begin to go from here? Well, the immediate short-term fix is a very familiar face, Darren Fletcher. The former United player and current technical director is stepping in as interim manager. He's the guy tasked with trying to steer the ship through these incredibly chaotic waters. But, as soon as you hear the words interim manager at Manchester United, this question just immediately pops into your head. Are we about to see a repeat of the Ole Solskjaer situation? Where a temporary fix accidentally becomes a long-term problem because of a lucky run of results? You can understand why the fans are so nervous. And looking beyond the interim period, the questions just start piling up. Are they looking for a new coach with a specific tactical philosophy, or a big-name manager with a history of winning trophies? The speculation is already completely out of control, but nobody really knows what the club's direction is. And so we are left with the most powerful question of all, the one that really cuts to the heart of this whole mess. After all the managers, all the failed transfers, all the struggles on the pitch, what is the real root cause here? Is this club incompetent, simply misguided, or is it suffering from a chronic, fundamental lack of leadership? The answer to that question is going to define the future of Manchester United.